Story time. Y'all know I'm silly. Sorry. Hey, friends. Welcome back. How are you?
Story time now.
Pregnancy. I was 15 when I had my daughter, and I was 14 when I got pregnant. I was always in a different foster. Sometimes you get a good foster parent. I had a very good foster parent. Like, I just was hanging around. Like, what am I here for? And I just felt like nobody loved me. So I'm like, what can, who would love me? Who would never leave me? And when I found that I was pregnant, I asked myself, like, do you really want this baby? Aren't you too young? You're 14 years old. And yes, those thoughts came across my mind. Everything came across my mind. I'm not ready. I'm in high school. I'm working. And I'm in foster care. You shouldn't have a baby at this time. You're absolutely not ready. Then I thought, well, maybe if I do have my daughter, then I'll have someone just for me. I will have someone that would never leave me, that would love me, that would care for me unconditionally. That was my thinking. So what I did was I didn't say anything to anyone until I was 6 months pregnant because I didn't want to get an abortion. I didn't want to lose my child because to me, this is all I had left at this moment. So what I did was, which was sneaky, don't do that, you guys. If you guys get pregnant, just, don't do it. My social worker at the time would call and she's like, oh, we're going to Six Flags. No Six Flags, I should not go there. I'm pregnant. But I couldn't tell them. So yeah, we're going. We get to Six Flags. She wants to get on every single ride. Like everyone, on every single ride. Of course, I'm scared of heights, but I will get on rides sometimes, depending on what the ride look like. So I'm just trying to make up every excuse not to get on the ride. But she wasn't having it. That happened. And then the next weekend, she wanted to go to, what's the other one? Dorney Park. So we went to Dorney Park, and again, we got on every single ride. Not every single. I'm just probably, I'm doing too much. Yes, it wasn't every single ride. Probably most of them though. So I got on the rides. And then the next week, she called and said, we're going to Clemson Park. At this point, I'm in my head like, girl, this baby gonna be turned upside down. You keep getting all these daggone rides. So I'm like, well, I really got to talk to you. And she was like, well, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm pregnant. I can't get on no more rides. I'm so sorry. I was like, I keep trying to just say, I'm going to get on a ride with you. I'm going to go here. I try to lie, and this lying thing is just not okay. So she basically was like, I'm so sorry. She was like, I didn't know. She's like, oh, we didn't hurt the baby. Then she was like, why haven't you told me? She should have said something. So she just was like, we got to have a meeting. We got to tell your family. We get back to my family's house at this point in time. I was in foster care, but I was living with my sister and her dad at the time. So we all came in the living room. It was me, my social worker, my sister, and my sister's dad. My social worker just blurted out, don't give no warning. We got to talk about anything, nothing. When we all sit down, she said, Savoya's pregnant. Everybody, that's what it was. My sister dad said, huh? What? He said, damn. So where you gonna live? And I was like, that's just how he talks. He's not like a mean person, or he's not a hateful person. He just talks like that. Like, he has a really raspy voice. And my social worker was like, well, if she can't stay here, we'll look into other homes. And basically, then he explained himself, I just can't do another kid. I done took care of my daughter. She's grown. She went to college. She out of here now. I don't want to do it over again. Then to have to deal with raising you and your daughter. And your child at the time. I'm like, okay. I totally understood it. I didn't hate him. I wasn't mad. I didn't feel any kind of way. I just felt like, okay, I just got to go somewhere else. So from there, I moved to another foster home. That was my very last foster home, which was the best foster home ever. I moved there, and usually they tell everybody that you're not going to be there long. I was in a transitional house where I stayed for 2 weeks until they find me permanent house. And at this time, I felt like no foster parent wants to have a child in their home where they don't know who this child is, where they come from, what happened, and why they're here. So I decided I'm going to talk to her. And I just was like, can I sit down? Can I talk to you? I was just like, I want to tell you why I'm here. And I said, I don't think that we do that. I don't think that we get a chance to bond with our foster parents. I don't think that we get a chance to live a normal life, be a family, be a part of something. So when I talked to her and told her why I was there, she understood. It was just about respect. That's how I felt. Like, let's just respect each other. And I was just like, they said I'll be here for 2 weeks. I had this feeling like again, I'm moving around. I'm in a different home, different space, different people. I don't know these people. Okay. And I probably stayed there for the first 2 weeks in my room. I wasn't in school at this second because, when you first move, you got to change everything over. So it was me and my daughter at the time. Decided that she wanted me to go to Job Corps. Job Corps to me was good. And it was good because they give you money, they give you a chance pass, and you get to get your GED at the same time as pick up a trade. I did medical assistant at first, and then I switched to culinary. So while I was in there, I thought of it as, this is my job. I really don't want to be here for school. I would rather go back to high school. So because we would get paid, I ended up asking this lady, the school creates a job for you. So I'm like, do you guys have a job that I can do, that I can get extra money? And she said, yes, you could be my assistant. And I said, perfect. That's extra money for me every time I get paid, whatever. I would do that. I would go to school during the day. When I got out of school, I would go pick my daughter up from daycare. I would go back to my foster mom's house. I would go right back to that back room. I would do my homework. Me and the baby would just sit there. We'd play around for a little bit. I'd feed her, change her, wash her, whatever. After that, I'm right back to Law and Order. Yes, that was my life. I probably watched every single episode of Law and Order. So after a while, she would come back and she's like, you can unpack your stuff. You're going to be here for a while. And I'm like, no, I'm not. My social worker said 2 weeks. 2 weeks is almost up. I'm still staying these 2 bags. So she was like, I'm just here to tell you that you're going to be here longer than 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay. I unpacked the clothes, but I was still in my back room. And I would probably I probably unpacked 1 bag because I just knew that I was leaving soon. So then my foster mom said, she would come up to my room and say, come downstairs, hang with us. We playing a game. We watch a movie. We having a cookout. Any little event they would have, she would always invite me downstairs. And one day she told me, she was just like, we're a family around here. Around here, we don't call you foster child. We don't say that you're not part of our family. No, you're our family. So she kind of made me feel comfortable. And I'm like, yeah, I can deal with this. Okay. Then I thought that I want to go back to high school. And I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't want to get a GED if I'm able to get a diploma. Why can't I just get that? So now I go back to high school and I go talk to the counselors to see what it takes for me to graduate on time. So at this point, when I came back to school, I was in 10th grade, but I was supposed to be in the 12th grade. I had to go to school this year, summer school, and next year if I wanted to graduate on time. But in my head, I'm like, I'm supposed to graduate in 2009. That's when I'm going to graduate. That's when she told me I had to do 2 contracts. I had to do night school, Saturday school, and summer school. So I was working at Rita's Water Ice in Philadelphia in the Mount Airy area. I was going to high school and I still had my daughter. So it was a lot, but I was still able to do it. I was determined to tell my daughter I graduated on time. I let her know, you didn't stop me from graduating high school on time. You were just an added addition. And because I had the love for my daughter, because I was able to go home and see my daughter every day, that meant to me that I'm okay, I'm good, I got somebody now. And she was my drive. I was so absolutely happy that I chose to make that decision and chose to get my diploma. I graduated on time. I got so many recognitions, so many people were just telling me that they were so happy for me because I graduated. And that was amazing to me. This video is going to cut off and I will continue this video in the next video. So I see you guys later. Thank you so much.